Being in the military taught me that being a servant is the most important part of being a leader. So it's putting your soldiers and now putting my employees, ahead of myself. I graduated from Colby College in Waterville, Maine. Went into the recruiter of the Army, went through OCS as officer candidate school, and then commissioned as an intelligence officer. For me, I was trying to find somewhere where I'd have an impact in the world as a 21 to 22-year-old. There's just not a lot of roles where they trust you with 30 people's essentially lives, and then the lives of everybody you're protecting. So it's just the chance and opportunity to be a leader. So when you leave the Army, it's not easy to necessarily transition to a new career. I thought Harvard would sort of prepare me for a much more standard corporate job, so I was sort of surprised in terms of where my career took me. They teach a class, actually, the second year of Harvard, Entrepreneurship through Acquisition, which is the sort of sexy way of saying search funds. So it's going out to find a small business that has sort of enduringly profitable characteristics, run by a guy who started the business or gal started the business 20 years ago, has really built it up from nothing, and then at this point is ready to retire. If those businesses aren't passed off to someone, they just close, and that's lost jobs. It's sort of the economic impact of search funds. It's allowing these small businesses to grow, and it's injecting sort of a exciting, young, a 30-year-old like me that comes in and is super motivated about growing the business versus someone who is, ready for the business to sort of just coast on as it was going. I was a self-funded search fund, so that means I didn't go out and raise money ahead of time. So I worked out of the public library in Denver, been every morning looking at a list of businesses from the Colorado Secretary of State. No business is perfect, everything has its own, quirks to it. So saying, is this a quirk that I feel comfortable with, that is a good fit for me? I found RG Maintenance through a broker. He connected me with Rick, who was the seller of the business. We had dinner, really hit it off. At the same time, I worked with investors to say, hey, is this something that you guys are willing to provide equity for? And then I'd reach out to banks to say, hey, is this something that can be financed? The thing I was looking for the most in a bank was someone who I could depend on. I talked with one of the employees of Live Oak Bank, Lisa Forrest. They were really pushing into the M&A vertical, saying this is something we want to do. We think we provide a lot of value. I was impressed by some of that advice on the M&A side. Talked about, here's a customer you might want to have, or here's a supplier you might want to talk to, or here's just some industry analysis you want to think about. For someone who has never bought a business before in their life, never thought about buying a business before, having someone who's done a lot of them is very helpful. Live Oak Bank stood by their word, and that's important to you when you're going through a process like buying a business, is knowing that your lender is going to be there at the finish line and isn't going to leave you hanging. I've owned RG Maintenance for 7.5 months. And over time, the business becomes more and more, it's having an American flag in the office. It's having Veterans Day as a big holiday that we celebrate. It's like little stuff like that matters to me. So I've been focused on trying to hire veterans. There's a higher unemployment rate for veterans than the general populace, even though they have, I think, a lot of superior skills. Hard work ethic, the ability to follow orders, that sort of training to say, I have the goal in mind, how do I get to that goal? That's a very valuable employee to have. Small business is the biggest creator of jobs in this country. The joy you get out of having your own small business and being the person who makes decisions, who has impact on employees' lives, you're not going to get if you go into a massive bank or consulting company or a big firm. So as an option for someone who is super motivated, it doesn't matter what their financial background is, because I think this is achievable for everybody. If you're a veteran leaving the Army and you're E7, you're a guy who can lead the heck out of soldiers, strongly consider running a small business, starting a small business, because it has a big impact on people's lives and it's really enjoyable.